Hi, I'm Jennifer Martinez.
And I'm Ray Martinez.
We are with Skyrise Real Estate Group and just wanted to go over some talking points about why it's a good time to buy now as opposed to waiting later on towards the end of the year. So we always have people asking us about the market. They always want to know how the market's doing. Is it a good time to buy? Is it not a good time to buy? We recently just had a discussion with somebody just the other day, and she had made a comment to us about us making a video about why it's important to buy. Her, as a first-time home buyer, mentioned she really didn't understand the importance of buying or why it was important for her to buy now. I will give you a great example. We have a client that we're working with right now, and they are paying $5,000 a month in rent, which is, typical. Anywhere between $2,500 to $5,000 is what we hear typically for rent. So if you're paying $5,000 a month for rent, you are spending $60,000 a year, and that's just for 1 year. For 1 year to pay that you are never going to see ever again. That money is gone. It's out the window. You will never see that money again. When you are spending $25,000 to $5,000 into a mortgage, that money is yours. You are essentially putting it away. It's in the house. You might not see it, but that money is in the house.
So, how are we going to buy a house? How can we really afford a house, right? So, as you will probably see or heard or seen when you've been looking at homes, if you've been looking at homes or you've been doing research, right now the average rate's been around 6.7, and they're predicting 6.3 as the average for next year. We're going to have a gradual decline of the rates. What does that mean for you as a buyer? Well, that means that homes will be steadily holding where they're at as far as pricing because they have come down. And so, this is going to make it more enjoyable because you're not having to go and hear about 10 offers or 15 or 20 offers. And it could possibly happen. I mean, there's a lot of people waiting on the sidelines as we've been, talking about that, with the rates coming down, Powell's leaving in May. There could be an adjustment rate where they drop it and we can actually see low five steadily instead of right now holding around 6.3, and we're going to see 6.3 average. So what does this all come down to? Well, like what Jennifer was saying, is that the driving factor of this rate control is because the fact is lowering the rates is because of the weaker labor market. And so this is prompting the Fed rates to drop the rates. And so what's going to happen is we're going to see some drops in prices. And guess what's going to happen? The buyers will come out and start buying up the high inventory, even though there's no low, I want to say low inventory, but in reality, it's high inventory right now. There's a lot of available homes. We just went and showed a home, and there's homes for a client, and there was more than 20 homes for what they wanted. So again, this is just a balancing act that's happening with the inflation risk going on possibly as well. As we know, when the rates come down, you start having inflation risk. So in simple terms, as you're probably going, whoa, what's going on? So what does that really mean? Well, in simple terms, the rates will creep down. We'll see 6.3. We might even see 5.8 every so often here and there as they drop the rates. But at the end of the day, you have to take, if you can afford the payments, take the bite of buying a home, because the fact is, once the buyers start seeing the rates coming down and the homes become more affordable, we'll be able to have more people buying.
One of the great things about the current market is the interest rates are high. I know that sounds very strange, but because interest rates are higher than they have been, homes are sitting on the market. Now, they have come down quite a bit, but because of that, the homes are sitting on the market, which is allowing us as your agent to negotiate the price down for you. This is an opportunity that we haven't seen in years. When you were looking at 2020, 2021, when you were seeing interest rates in the 2.99, 3.99, in those low interest rates, you were seeing the housing prices skyrocket. We were seeing homes go 100 grand, 200 grand, in some cases even 500 grand over the listing price, which made it so unaffordable for people to buy. Even though the rates were low, people were getting outbid left and right. Ourselves, when we were looking personally for our own home, we were constantly getting outbid on homes. This is allowing you the perfect opportunity to come in, allow us to negotiate for you, and down the line, when the interest rates do come back down, now you can refinance.
So in simple terms, what does all of this mean for what Jennifer was mentioning and then about the rates coming down and the average being around 6.3? Well, in simple terms, we're going to see that creeping down for 2026. This is going to reflect for the buyers to come in and buy. And, don't expect a pandemic rates, but definitely we're going to see the nice, 5.8s to 5.9 to 6.3. But again, all the big guys are saying 6.3 is probably going to most likely be the average. So if you can afford to buy a home, meaning you can afford the payment that you're being, is being produced by the loan officer saying this is what it is for the purchase amount, and you have a down payment, then you buy the house. Everybody says it's a crash. Well, that's the perfect time, even though we're not having a crash. Look at the charts. Next video, we'll have charts showing we're not in a crash. We have an adjustment. So think about it. Again, if you feel free to give us a call, do a message down below. But again, this is what you have an opportunity is to buy a home with the lower rates.